Hello, everyone. Today I am going to be telling you a story about a community in Transylvania. And this was a community that transformed itself, building a church with the efforts of many individuals, and ultimately lighting this new church with the glowing flames from candles held by all the people who contributed. So let's get right into it. Many years ago in the land of Transylvania, in a mountain valley watered by quick rushing streams and shadowed by great forests of beech trees, there was a village of small wooden houses with dark shingled roofs. The people in the village wanted a church of their own. A church set on the hillside, they decided, looking down upon the village as a mother looks down upon her sleeping child. So all the people of the village labored long and hard to build themselves a church. The stonemasons hammered sharp chisels to cut great blocks of gray stone, then set the stones into stout and sturdy walls. The glaziers made tiny glass panes and fitted them neatly into windows with leaded lines. The foresters sawed tall beech trees into enormous beams and laid trusses for the ceiling, then covered the roof with close-fitting wooden shingles that wouldn't leak a drop of rain. The carpenters carved wood for the pair of wide opening doors, setting them on strong pegs so the doors hung straight and square. A bell was brought from a faraway city, then hoisted by ropes with a heave and a hoe to the top of the tower. The weavers wove fine cloths for the altar table, cloths embroidered with flowers and edges of lace. The smiths hammered black iron into tall lampstands and hammered thin bronze into shining oil lamps. Finally, when the building of the church was done, the painting of the church could begin. The painters mixed bright colors, royal red and shimmering gold and brilliant blue, and everyone in the village, old and young, women and men, boys and girls, came to decorate their church. They painted flowers, they painted trees, they painted designs around the windows and different designs around the doors. And at the end of the day, when it was finished, when their church was finally done, all the people of the village stood back to admire it, and then to sing a song of happiness and praise. Their village had a church now, a church set on the hillside, looking down upon the village. "We will eat now," announced an elder of the village, because everyone was hungry after their long day's work. "And later tonight, we'll come back to pray." So the people of the village went down the hillside to their homes and their suppers, all except one little girl named Zora and her father, who stayed behind. They had brought their own bread and cheese. They ate their food slowly, sitting on the grass on the hillside and admiring their new church with its strong stone walls, its tall tower, and its magnificent bell. After they had eaten, they went back inside, opening those carved wooden doors to go into the gloriously painted sanctuary inside. "Oh, look, Father," Zora cried, running from picture to picture, with her footsteps outgoing off the stone walls. "See how grand!" "Yes, it is," said her father, looking around and nodding with pride. "Yes, it is." "But Father," she said suddenly, "we have not finished." "What do you mean?" "There are tall iron lampstands along the walls, but there are no lamps. The church will be dark when the people come back." "Oh, no, little one," said her father. "The light of the church comes from its people. You shall see." He rang the bell to call the people to worship, then took his daughter by the hand and led her back outside. They waited on the grassy hillside next to their beautiful church of strong gray stone. The sun had set behind the mountains and night was coming soon. Yet in the glowing darkness, tiny points of light came from many directions and moved steadily uphill. "Each family is entrusted with a lamp, little one," her father explained. "Each family lights its own way here." "Where is our family's lamp?" "Your mother is carrying it. She will be here soon." The many lights moved closer together, gathering into one moving stream, all headed the same way, growing larger and brighter all the time. Zora's mother arrived, bearing a burning oil lamp in her hand. The father lifted Zora so she could see their family's lamp high in its tall iron stand. All around the church, other families were doing the same. Soon the church was ablaze with light in every corner, for all the people of the village had gathered to pray and sing. All through the worship service, Zora watched the lights flicker and glow. She watched her family's lamp most of all. When the service was over, her father lifted her high. She took the shining bronze lamp from the lampstand. Its curved sides were warm and smooth in her hands. Her mother carried the lamp home with the flame lighting the way. The flame lit their house when they returned home. Zora washed her face and got ready for bed by the light of that flame. Mother, Zora began as she climbed into bed to lay down. Yes, little one, her mother asked, tucking the red wool blanket around Zora's shoulders. Father said the light of the church comes from its people. Yes. But also the people take their light from the church. Over on the table by the fireplace, the shiny bronze lamp was still burning. And we have light every day. Yes, indeed, said her mother. And even when we are not in church, even when the lamp is not lit, we carry the light of truth in our minds and the flame of love in our heart to show us the right way to be. That light, the light from truth and love, will never go out. Never? Asked Zora. Never, said her mother. And this bronze lamp will last for many, many years. When you are grown, we will give the bronze lamp to you, and when your children are grown, you will give the lamp to them, and all of you will carry it back and forth to the church every time. But there is only one lamp, said Zora. So make another and let the light grow, said her mother. And someday tell your children to make more lamps too. And now, good night, her mother said and kissed Zora once on the cheek and once on the other cheek and once in the forehead. Zora closed her eyes and drifted into dreams while her mother looked down upon her sleeping child. The years passed and Zora grew. The bronze lamp came into her care. She kept it polished and clean, and when the bell rang out across the valley to call the people to worship, she carried the lamp back and forth to the church on the hillside, the flame always lighting the way. When the time came, she made more lamps and gave them to her children, who made more lamps and gave them to their children, and so it went on through the years, even until today. And always the light of truth and the flame of love continued to grow and show them and us the way. So that is the story. And, as I was reading it, it's funny, I didn't think of it till I read it through this time, but that image of all the people walking up the hillside and all you could see was the stream of lights in the darkness, that imagery was very much struck me because when I did did some hiking down in Patagonia in Chile, and the big thing was to watch in this one in Torres del Paine Park was to go to the three towers, the towers made of rock that the park is named for, to watch the sunrise over them. But to hike up there for the sunrise, you have to start before dark. So headlamps it was, and I remember starting up, and it was a very bizarre hike because I was alone, and I couldn't see anyone else ahead or behind me, but as I started getting up to higher elevations and it was more open, and I could see the outline of the trail from everyone's headlamps. And it was the coolest thing. And it so much reminds me of that story, this stream of light. And it was, in that case, it was like the trail of light all lit up on the way up to the three towers, the rock formations. And it was very magical. So suppose you were Zora in this story with one small job to do to help building the church. And think about how it would feel to see the whole community inside the finished building, illuminated by the shared light of everyone's lamp. So we're talking about miracles some in the fall. What strikes you as miraculous in this story? It could be the fact that they finished the church building, moving all those heavy stones, or maybe the way each person's lamp helped create enough light for everyone. So everyone contributed something, right? They all have they each had one lamp, and one lamp would not have lit up the whole church, but they each brought one, and together the entire church was illuminated. And how the way in the story, it talks about, her father talked about that the people will bring the light and it will grow from the people. And it did, because they all came, and it grew as more of them brought their lamps. And if you think of the light as truth and love, as talked about in the story, just like how light grew from the people, the more we love and hold on to what's true, the more that love and truth grows around us. So think about our congregation, our church. Have you ever sat in either the Abbey Chapel or the church in Northeast Harbor, and have you ever sat there by yourself or walked through when no one else is around? And it feels very different, doesn't it, than when we're gathered there all together. And both can be very meaningful experiences, but in very different ways. So think about if you're there by yourself, how that would feel and what kind of experiences that that you might feel and what experience of awe you might feel. And then think about, when you're there with others, it's that community. Remember ages ago when an outdoor worship one time, and Hannah talking about, well, what is church? Is it the building? Is it? And a lot of people were saying, like, it's the community. It is us. It's the people. It's the light that they bring to each other. Now think about a time that you made some personal efforts to help a larger cause. Maybe it was donating food to a food pantry or a collection at your school. And what motivated you to act? Maybe because everyone else was doing it or your parents made you, but maybe it was because you wanted to help someone. And how do you think those actions inspired others? Like if someone saw you doing that, it would say, oh, that's so nice. I think I'm going to do that too. So when you take those actions, it can inspire others as well. And do you think your effort led to a change in that community, whether it was a school community, a church community, or a broader community? So think about what about that could be miraculous. That is kind of like that light spreading, right? When you do a good deed or help someone, then you're inspiring others to do it. You're sharing that light and helping that light of generosity and of transformation grow. So that is all for today. I hope you have a great week and stay warm now that it's finally kind of feeling like winter, though it's getting warm again, but we might get a good foot of snow here next week. So I'm of course excited about that. So see you next time.